Hey guys, I'm here with my dad today.
Hi everyone.
And today we're going to be talking about confirmation bias. So I've already explained to him what media producer, consumer, and what confirmation bias means, so he already knows a general idea of what it means. So we're just going to jump straight into the questions. The first question is, how do you get your news?
Well, I listen to the radio, I watch news broadcasts on TV, I'm also on Facebook and Twitter. I also read online newspapers like New York Times, Daily Mail, Wall Street Journal.
Cool. What kind of media do you consume?
I consume music on Pandora and Spotify, news on Wall Street Journal, New York Times. I also go on Facebook and Twitter. I also read blogs.
Nice. So what kind of media do you produce?
Well, I post reviews on Amazon for products I purchase. I post reviews of restaurants on Yelp. I also post opinions on Facebook, on Twitter. I've also uploaded videos on YouTube.
Nice. Do you think that media producers exhibit bias in producing media? And do you have any examples of that?
Certainly. If you look at some of the news sites like Fox News, Drudge Report, they have more of a conservative kind of focus when they produce their news. There's other newspapers that are much more liberal. So there's certainly a bias when depending on the site, on certain types of news.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think that media consumers exhibit bias in consuming media? And do you have any examples of that happening?
Sure. Viewers might view certain politicians a certain way, so their bias might be, everything that that person says they discredit, or vice versa. If they really like a politician or they really like a star or any celebrity, they might believe everything they have to say.
Yeah.
So there's certainly a lot of that going on, because there's a lot of news sites out there which are not very popular with certain segments, but are very popular with other segments. So there's certainly a bias.
Yeah, definitely. Have you ever exhibited confirmation bias in your own personal consumption of the media?
Yeah. When I'll use Fox News again as an example. When I listen to some of the opinions coming out of the Fox News broadcasts, I might feel a certain way. I might not agree with everything they say, and a lot of the guests they have, I might also not agree. So I'm certain when I watch certain news sites, I might have a certain bias. Also, when you look at certain stars from movies that you may have seen, you might have a certain bias of how they are in real life, from the character they play. For example, Robert Downey Jr. plays a very intelligent scientist, and also he plays Iron Man in the Marvel movies, and you might think in real life he's also very, very intelligent, articulate, and so that's a bias that I certainly have when I...
Yeah, I know I definitely have it too. Okay, last question. What, if anything, do you try to do to guard against confirmation bias in your own life?
I think that's a good question. I think the best thing you could do is step back and keep an open mind. There are always two sides to every issue.
Yeah.
So if you hear a news broadcast where you don't agree with what the guest is saying, you really should, instead of automatically assuming or discrediting everything that guest has to say, you step back and say, well, does that guest have a good point of view? If that's the case, then you might agree with some things that they have to say, but maybe not everything. So I think you really do have to kind of be an active listener, and pay attention to what they're saying and keep an open mind. Always try to put yourself in the shoe of the speaker, because there are always two sides to every story, issue.
Definitely. Well, cool. Thank you, Dad, for taking the time to participate in this interview.
You're welcome, Charlotte.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks for
watching.
had a good time.
Yeah.